Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be recreating another YouTuber's project
by the name of Jenna Pierce.
I'm gonna be using this air dry clay from Hobby Lobby. It's in the color gray. The color doesn't matter for this project because we are gonna be painting it. This was $9.99. If you use a coupon, you can get it for $6.99. Not bad for 10 pounds of clay. Now, I've already used this for several projects, and I still have a lot left, so that's awesome. We're also going to need a pencil, and we are going to need some twine, but I'm not going to get into that right now. First, I want to start by getting my clay out and assembling it. We're basically going to be making some fake stone beads with this clay, and I'm just gonna be like taking it apart like this, and we're just gonna squish it together, and we're gonna be creating a little ball. So I'm gonna just work this like it would be like Play-Doh or something. Just get all the little air bubbles and stuff out. And the way that she made the little stone bead balls, they were approximately about this size. I would say this is about 1.5 inches, give or take. And she also said not to make them like super perfect because the more imperfect, it looks more like stone, I guess. And I believe she said she got her inspiration off of Pottery Barn's website. And I just really loved the piece, so I figured I would go ahead and recreate it and see if it was worth making. So far, not too bad. I feel like this is going to take a while. I think we're supposed to make approximately 15 of these balls. And then the point of the pencil was to poke a hole through it. But I'm trying to get it round. That looks pretty good. And then we'll just poke a hole through it somewhere. Just kind of put it down and... Okay, and then I guess just like... put this back down like that. And the reason we use like a pencil is to get a pretty good size hole. That way we can fit several pieces of twine through the hole. I'm just smoothing out that little section. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make 15 or so of these. I don't know how many I'm gonna make for sure. We'll find out. And then she said that they have to dry for 2 to 3 days, so I'm going to go ahead and let these dry. And this is air dry clay, so all I would do is just set them out on the counter. I want it to be a bit more round. It looks a little bit more oval, so I'm going to like squish this down a little bit. Okay, I think that looks better. Looks more like a ball with a hole in it. Okay. So put that to the side and try to make another one. It's kind of hard to roll a ball, you know? I haven't done this since I was a kid playing with like Play-Doh or something. Okay, that looks... Let's see if I can get it more round. It looks a little bit bigger than this one. So I'm just gonna grab some like that. I'd say that looks good, give or take. I mean, whatever. And I'll just use this area to poke the hole. And I'm twisting the pencil. That way I don't get that like hexagon shape in there because I want it to be round. Smashed back together really quick. I am finished with all 15 of them. Now I just have to let them dry for a couple of days, and then we'll go ahead and move on to painting. So it's been about 3 days, and these are hard as rocks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a box and spray paint them and give them a quick coat of some black spray paint. That way they have a dark base. This is what Jenna did in her video. And I'm just using like the cheap black spray paint from Walmart.
going to give these a couple coats. I do remember Jenna said that they don't have to be perfect, and I can tell you right now, these are not perfect. I started spray painting them, and then I shook the box like this and rattled them, and then paint got all over the place. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let these dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring them in, and we're gonna go ahead and do some hand painting with some acrylic paint and do like a stippled brush technique that she did. I brought them inside. Right now they're freezing cold because I had them outside on the porch, and you know, I spray painted them this black, which honestly was not the best choice, just because when I went back and looked at Jenna's video, her overall pieces were actually a dark gray that she had spray painted them, and my pieces were already pretty much that dark gray tone. So I really didn't need to spray paint them because I had gray clay to begin with, and I think she used white clay. It's totally fine, but I'm going to go ahead and paint over these. It's not that big of a deal. I am going to put some paper towel down. That way I have somewhere to kind of lay them. And then I'm going to get a little like tray and mix up some colors that kind of resemble what she had. Okay. A little bit of white. Okay, so that'll be my lightest color. And then I'm also going to add in just a little bit of black with this tone. Okay, now I'm gonna get started. So we'll just take one of them, and then we're using this special sponge. I got this in the painting section at Hobby Lobby. You could get this at any craft store. You could probably find these at Dollar Tree. I mean, depending if your Dollar Tree carries that type of sponge. I'm gonna start with just a gray tone and just kind of like dab it on there. I'm gonna have just a little bit of the black kind of popping through. This really does leave a really cool texture. So that's really nifty. And we're just, you know, stippling it, not smearing it. Okay, so now I'm just like picking them up. They're kind of drying pretty fast. You can see this one's still a little wet. I'm just gonna blend in the color, and that will help it dry faster. So I've been just picking up like a random tone and just kind of adding it sporadically like this. Very random. And then I'm taking the tip of a different side, and I'm dipping into the black with the cream color, and I'm just kind of like stippling that over the gray color and the peachy tone, I guess, that I just put on.
Well, I guess in person it looks peachy, but on camera it looks a little bit more cream tone.
It's creating some beautiful textures. Then you can kind of go back in just very randomly with the gray to help blend those in a bit more. See, and that's kind of what it will look like. Then once I'm all done with like that part, I'm gonna take a little bit of this lighter color and just kind of lightly dab it like this, and it leaves these really cool specks, so it looks like stone. So you can see the difference of adding those little peachy tones back with the dark and a little bit of gray and a little bit of white. And then this was just the gray dabbed. You can see the dimension in this one. It has a lot more, and it looks a lot more like stone than this one here. So I think it's important to add a little bit of peachy tone, blue tone, white tone. This definitely looks like a rock. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these off camera.
Oh yeah, these definitely look like stone. So that painting technique works really well. I ended up just taking all the colors and putting it all over the sponge and just dabbing with all the mixture kind of all over. And once that dried, I went back through with the lighter tone and just gave a little bit of a highlight in random areas. I think these look like stone, do they not? I love the color. They're so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and give a matte clear coat spray paint over these, and then we'll start the stringing process. We're gonna need 3 bundles of twine. After I sprayed them, I obviously realized I didn't use matte, so they're a little bit shiny, which I don't really like them shiny. I think it'll be okay if I can just like kind of rub over the protector. It should kind of dull it down a little bit. I also don't want to sit here and scratch it and ruin the paint job. So I think I'm just gonna leave them alone and go ahead and move on. I need 3 pieces of twine. 3 pieces. I'm gonna take my first one and put the pieces of twine through. Now I'm not sure how long this is supposed to be, so on the end I'm gonna tie a knot so it all kind of just stays on there. Okay, and then we'll just tie a knot right here, pulling all that cord through. And I'm gonna do like a loose kind of knot. I kind of want that a little bit tighter. So I might have to do what I did with my other, I did beads very similar to this. And I might have to do like a double knot situation, which is fine. Maybe some of them will be that way. I don't know. Okay, that looks better, like the knot itself. That way, like, I know it's not gonna, like, slip through and go anywhere. Let's move on to the next bead. I'm calling it a bead, even though, you know, I mean, it is a bead. Same situation, another knot. Yeah, I think I like the double knot a little bit better, just because the knot looks more prominent. If I did a single one, I feel like it just wouldn't be the same. I don't know. Finish the rest of it off camera. The whole piece overall is like, it's slightly loose on there, but I have a double knot in between each one. I think it looks really good. The last step is adding tassels on the end. So I think she said to use like the spread finger method, where it's like that. So they're like long. And I don't even know how many times to wrap it. So we're supposed to like tie this top part off right here. Something like that. I'm gonna cut the bottom piece now. I think that's good. I don't know. Now I'm gonna try to stick all of these pieces through here. So I'm getting my tassel on. I'm just gonna slowly pull this. I think I'll tie this up here. I'm gonna just tie it right here, like just tie a knot. And then tie like one more knot. Okay, now I can trim these pieces off. So I'm gonna take this end of this needle and just like poke it up through the 2 loops here. And then pop this piece like in there. And then pull it underneath that loop, and it'll just become part of this. It's just gonna be part of the tassel. Yeah, that looks good. Make sure that it's the same length. Alright, I'm gonna run these under water, and I think that'll help straighten these out. I don't want them super straight, but I don't want them as curly, and I think it's just the way it was wrapped. Okay. Lightly comb them out, and then let them dry like that. I'm gonna go ahead and be showing you guys another project. YouTuber Liz Fenwick DIY. She created this beautiful jute rope plate that looks like a sun. I just thought it was so pretty and very boho and almost like it's like a modern boho farmhousey vibe. I'm gonna go ahead and recreate that today. So I picked up this plate from Dollar Tree. It is like a plasticky, it's a hard plastic. I got 2 things of this jute rope. So I think she got this idea, she did like a dupe. I think it was from Pottery Barn. And then we're just basically gonna hot glue this rope down to the plate and then we'll paint our sun on it when we're done. So it should be pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing it down. She used, I think, rope from Amazon, which is a better buy. It's cheaper. I just went ahead and picked this up from Dollar Tree. It's not a big deal for me. And then she found the center of the plate and just did a little bit of hot glue and pressed it down like this. And basically you just keep gluing, hot gluing the rope down in a circle. It's starting to look a little like lopsided. I don't know. I don't think my plate is like as big as her plate either. Why is it so lopsided? It's not like centered. I would say that this project is easy. You're just gluing rope on a plate. I think the hard part is gonna be the painting. I don't know if I'm gonna spray paint because she used some tape, some painter's tape around in the inside and created this sun design. And then she spray painted the edges white. So then when she took the tape off, you saw this pretty design. I'm a little bit worried about the spray paint and the cold because it's like 7 degrees out. I think I'm going to just use acrylic paint, heavily coat it. I hope this is enough rope, you guys. I'm running out so quick. It's like a whole different rope. Way to go, Dollar Tree. I feel like this could also go very nautical with the rope if you're into a nautical theme. So I got some white rope from Dollar Tree. And I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal because we're gonna paint this. Honey, no! No! So on the back, I'm just like separating each strand like that and then push it flat. That way, I don't know if I ever display it just setting down like this, it's not like gonna create a bulk somewhere and push the plate, you know, up or something like that. I got some tape and I'm now going to tape off the little triangle section and you can totally freehand this. I think I want to do like a long strip. Do that. This tape is not very good. I'm gonna put it in the microwave. Okay, I just nuked it for like 10 seconds. I'm gonna make this like pretty thick. There we go.
I just took some scrap cardboard and I'm going to use a straight edge to draw straight lines and create an isosceles triangle, which is approximately 42, 69, and 69 degrees. Then I'm going to cut the triangle out and use this as my template.
But then we'll just take this and I'll trace it on to this. Like, let me test it out. Okay, I think this is gonna work. Ah, my finger! A little triangle moment.
So then I just took the template and I traced out several triangles and I cut them all out. I did approximately about 15 of them.
Okay, I started like putting them on here like this. It's supposed to create this sun. I just don't think it's gonna work how I was expecting it to. I think I put them on wrong.
Let me be honest, because you'd cover this all up with tape, so that doesn't make sense to me why they'd be facing this way.
Alright, so when Liz put the tape on, her tips of the triangles were actually touching the edge, but since I have white rope there, I actually moved mine inwards a little bit more, which is totally fine. I'm going to end up painting the entire outside white.
I don't really need to, but I'm just going to take some white paint, and I'm going to paint the outer
Edge.
white. I'm going to see if I can start peeling this up. Oh, I think it's cute. I like this.
Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you would make any of these projects, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.